very chilly Braxton. Yeah, been a strange, definitely 24 hours. I should have been here yesterday. Basically, we've had 5 days of. I have to stop doing that. Someone told me stop touching your nose in your videos. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I should have been here yesterday. We've had 5 days of 5 degrees maximum during the daytime, heavy frost at night, and then yesterday was said to be 7 degrees all day. And I mean, it turned out it rained all day, but it wasn't meant to be rain originally, and low pressure. So the plan was to come yesterday and give it a good go on here, see if we can nick a December carp. And got up in the morning, loaded the car up, jumped in the car, flat battery. I've had the car 5 years. It's always been good as gold. It was only serviced 2 weeks ago, and yeah, according to Honda, the battery's perfect. Anyway, flat battery. So I've got a bit of kit that I normally take with my weekends or night sessions just to charge the iPad and phone. But allegedly you can jump cars off of it. I've never tried. I've had this a couple of years now. So I tried yesterday, and you know, yeah, you really can jump a car off this little box. I don't know how this little box has got enough power to jump a car. I don't know. Or a diesel engine as well. So, but it started. But at that point I didn't want to really drive down to the lake and then find later on in the day the battery's flat again, and what if it doesn't start. So I took the decision not to come fishing yesterday, and sorted out the battery really. Went down a quick fit, we didn't have one in stock, and the car would still start, and so I actually went down the river, because whilst my carp gear was in the car, so as I've said before, my little jiggle was always in there, so I went down the river. And really I should have, the first swim I was in, I spent an hour in there, had 7 perch. I should have just stayed there, because I spent another hour and a half getting soaking wet, catching 4 perch and losing a couple of lures with. But anyway, so the plan was check the weather today, a lot colder according to the forecast, a lot colder, dry all day, but I just thought I'd come. The air pressure's really low, comfortable for the fish. I thought I'd still come. The gear's in the car, everything was ready. Let's still go. This morning, the dog quickly before I come fishing opened the front door. I hadn't even looked out the opened the front door, and yeah, snow everywhere. I've never carp fished in the snow. As a child I've roach fished in the snow. Caught a few roach and froze to death nearly. But yeah, I ummed and ahed and thought I will still come. The car's loaded. Let's have a short day. Give it till 3 o'clock or something. See what happens. So made my way down here. Slowest drive ever. The roads were all flooded from 12 hours of rain. And the ones that aren't flooded are thick with snow. So what we've got here, the rods are out. I've fishing at 12.5 hours. That I know is seal. I've put a little bit of hemp out there, a little bit of pellet out there, and a solid PVA bag, and the other rod I'm just going to rove with. Anyway, I'll update the vlog. A bit negative, I was going to say, just before I pack up. Hopefully I update it later on with a fish, but we'll see what happens anyway. So speak to you in a bit. Okay, bye now. Welcome back. It's 2:45 now. Just the rod's still out. Yeah, the elements have really tested me today. I did that bit this morning, then it started raining. Rained solid for 4 hours. So northwesterly winds, freezing water, going into the lake. The lake, I mean, it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but the lake has definitely come up a couple of inches whilst I've been here. Literally I've watched all day long the water running down from the farm into the lake. Challenging day. There's been 6 different anglers on here. Today I'm the last one to pack up, and I'm the only one to have caught a fish. Nothing big. Probably about 1 o'clock I think it was. It was pouring with rain. I was sitting here contemplating, if I was a fish, where would I be? And I decided I'd be over on this, tight to those trees over there. Out of the wind, all the dead reeds and everything. It's probably a bit warmer there, so I tied up a rig, and rain stopped at 1:30, wound in, put it out there with a little PVA stick on there, no free baits. 2 o'clock it went off, and yeah, nice little bar of gold to rescue the blank for the day and the first carp of December. I'm gonna quickly get wound in now and get home. Yep, I'll see you next time. Next time I'm out on the bank. Hopefully next week somewhere. Take care. Morning. Find me here on Braxted again this morning. It's yeah, it's not a bad day today. It's going to get up to 6 degrees, which, don't get me wrong, 6 degrees isn't warm by any stretch of the imagination, but compared to what we've had recently, that's a lot better. We're meant to get some sun as well later on. I mean, certainly we've just had, well, yesterday wasn't. Yesterday was 7 degrees and some rain. Prior to that, we've had 4 days of, well, freezing fog. I actually went into the office on Tuesday, and yeah, riding down the M11 in freezing fog at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that wasn't a great experience, but hey, has to be done. But yeah, so we come here today. As I say, the weather temperature will get up to 5 degrees. Very little wind today, and we're meant to get sun from, I think it's 10 o'clock onwards. So I'm in swim 1, which is the opposite swim to where I was last week, where I managed to winkle the one out at 2 o'clock or whatever it was. So I'm fishing that same reed line and tree line that I've said before. That will get sun. When the sun comes up, it will be on there, and I'm just sure the fish sit in those reeds and everything for winter, and as the sun comes up, hopefully they'll come out. I've got both rods on the reed line, one at 12.5 wraps and one at 9 3/4 wraps. But to be honest, they were spots I knew from the, I think I fished here once or twice in the summer this swim. I just knew those spots anyway, so I just clipped up and put baits out in the dark. It was still dark when I got here, onto the spots. Then once it got light enough to see, I have just put 4 spoms of freebies on the 12.5 wrap, which is a wafter on a little PVA stick. So with those 4 spoms of freebies out there, and then the other rod is just a solid PVA bag with the pellet and the little pop-up in it, and we'll see what happens. I've not seen any fish yet, but again, as I said last time, it's December and it's cold. I don't really expect to see fish. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I do see them, it'll be good and I can perhaps move a bait onto there, but for now I'm going to just stick on those spots, watch the water, and take it from there. Yeah, I'm a bit like last time. I've come hoping for one fish. If I can nick a fish, then it's good. A carp in December, in my eyes, is good. You know, someone said the other week to me, "Oh, it must be really easy that lake because you always catch." I don't think easy is the right term. It's a well stocked lake. However, I see people blanking on here regularly. As I said last time when I came, there were 6 of us on here. I was the only one who caught a fish. And yeah, maybe I do something different to a lot of other people. You know, I've seen one other person have a big hit like I've had on here sometimes, but generally people will catch 3 and 4 fish in the summer, when I was catching 10, 14 on one day. I mean, the day I had 14, I walked along this bank, so I was up in swim 5 up there. I walked along this bank and there was anglers in every swim. 2 of them were blanking, and the guy in this swim had 2, and I had 14 and was packing up at, I can't remember the time. It was early though. It was something stupid like 6 o'clock on a summer's evening. I was going home. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's an easy lake. It's easier than a lot of lakes, but it is a very well stocked lake. If you can find the fish and fish accurately and well, yeah, you're going to catch fish. So yeah, anyway, that's my little preach for the day, hopefully. Yeah, I'll update the vlog later on. Like I say, I don't expect to catch many fish today, so I'll probably just do like last time, just update it with a closing couple of minutes on what's happened, or maybe what hasn't happened. Like I say, hopefully we can nick one, but who knows. Okay, speak to you later. Welcome back. It's 2:30, 20 to 3, something like that. Just wrapping up really. It's been a yeah, quite a tough day. The weather didn't do what it was meant to do. I haven't seen any sun all day. Haven't seen a fish all day, haven't heard a fish all day. The water is really chocolatey coloured, although it's gone down quite a lot. There's so much mud and stuff in the water, so visibility is definitely low. If fish can see colours, I've said it before, I'm not sure they can or not. But yeah, one rod's been roving around. I've tried white baits, pink baits, yellow baits, brown baits, and yeah, nothing. But at the same time, you know, I'm not seeing anything, so the fish may not be there anyway, so who knows. But the farmer came round earlier, spoke to him, and he said he's been pumping water out for a week now to get it down to the level it should be. So yeah, all that cold water coming in, dirty water coming in, I guess the fish have just shut up shop somewhere, not really on the feed. As I say, I mean, it's just got colder today instead of warmer. I'll have a chomp bar with a cup of coffee, and if anyone watching this eats chomp bars, you know how sticky they are. Well, not today. I snapped it in half. It was so cold and brittle, and yeah, that's sort of how the day stayed all the time really. Just really cold, overcast. The winds picked up a couple of times and not gone the way it should have gone, and yeah, not a good day for fishing really. You know, I was watching Rob Hughes on the telly the other day, and he's not had a carp for 6 weeks, and he certainly puts in a lot more time than I do. So yeah, the fish have all this rain and temperatures dropping, they've definitely shut up shop now. So I suppose I'll leave the rods out for another 15 minutes, and yeah, it's all in my head. It's like, what's the point? But you know, you've got to have a cut off time at some point, so I'll give it another 15 minutes, give it till 3 o'clock, and yeah, wind them in. Not sure what else I'll do next week fish wise. I mean it's weird, isn't it? December, I wouldn't normally do a lot of fishing in December, if I'm honest. There's normally work parties, friends, family, there's so much going on in December. The last thing I normally have time to do is go fishing, but obviously combination of social distancing and restrictions and tiers and people on furlough, you've just got a lot more time on your hands this year. So I will get out again. It's probably be on the rivers, to be honest. I've said it before, you know, the lakes, I definitely don't fish lakes in the winter. They just shut down, and you know, we've seen here, I've fished spots that I know fish feed on, and yeah, the fish aren't there, or if they are there, they're not feeding. At least on the rivers, even in this cold weather, you know, the chub and roach will always keep feeding. Maybe able to come back here and get a good bag of roach, maybe, because we was getting knocks on the PVA bags as long as I got tight to the reeds when I cast, and it was a small fish going in picking up the pellets. So maybe we'll have a go on here for the silvers and see what happens. But yeah, or whatever it is, I'll definitely do something before Christmas. Yeah, definitely before Christmas. I will wrap up December's vlog before Christmas, because I won't do anything the Christmas week, that's for sure. So yeah, speak to you wherever I am next time I go fishing. Well, good morning and welcome to my last vlog of December. As you can probably see, I'm in my shed. Didn't plan to do my last vlog in the shed, and hopefully that doesn't mean anybody who does view it turns off already and stops watching. Yeah, I don't understand YouTube figures, how you promote your videos or anything. You know, I range from one of my videos 1,900 views to my regular monthly videos range from 22 views one month to it's over 200 another month, and last month 32 views so far. I've got 27 subscribers. You'd like to hope all your subscribers view your videos. So yeah, that's not a lot of extras, but as I say, I don't understand the process of how videos are promoted. I look at random ones. Certainly I think of one. I looked at a drop shotting video the other day. It is shocking, absolutely shocking, but it's had like 1,200 views. And watched another person who's got 5,000 subscribers. They put 4 really short videos on in 2 years. So yeah, I don't get it. If you want to explain to me, put a comment in my comments box how you get more YouTube viewers and subscribers. I'll gladly take that on board. Anyway, as I say, I'm in the shed. Reason being, the weather around here has just been shocking. Lots and lots of rain. The rivers are flooded, bursting their banks. Lakes are flooded. Those that aren't flooded are just fishing awfully. Now I say that I go to the club waters around here quite a lot, and yeah, people are just moaning about blanking. So I mean, that said, it's December. You know, you're fishing for carp and it's December. You're going to blank quite often, more times than not. That said, I did get out on the bank one more time since I last did a vlog, or updated this vlog, and I went to one of the other lakes. Reason being, as I've said, everywhere's flooded, so I thought I'd go to a lake. It's called Bluntsmere, and I know it's at the top of a hill, so in my eyes the likelihood is that lake won't be flooded. But yeah, I thought I won't rush there. Got there for 7 o'clock. Bearing in mind, the sun wasn't rising until 5 till 8, and yeah, 15 cars in the car park. So anyway, I walked up. I don't know the lake. I've walked around it once with the dog, had a little look. So I just went on. You can get onto a little island. It's not far, probably, well, I don't know, 100 yards walk from the car park. So sort of be lazy, go on there. Went to the back where there's a little channel and snags opposite, and I just thought, oh, I'd have a go there. I've only got one carp rod at the moment because I've sent my reels off to Daiwa to be serviced. So my spare carp rod is, well, my 4th rod. It's like 12 years old, but been used for 3 weeks, and it was a hand built just specifically for me. So I had that rod out and float fishing. Yeah, I had maggots, worms, sweet corn, hemp seed, bit of ground bait, and set up in a swim. Put a solid PVA bag out into a snaggy area and fished the float for well, I think I'd got to about 11 o'clock, no, about 10:30, and the sun rose and it was shining into another snaggy area just to my left. I mean, you're talking 20 yards away. It's a little channel, 4 foot deep it was. So I decided I'd move the rod. I'd put in the right hand side that was still in the shade to the left hand side. Just wound it in without the PVA bag on, cast out just to feel for a drop. You couldn't, it's too shallow. You could not feel the drop. But dragged the lead back, brought it in, no crap on the lead, no crap on the hook. So I did a second cast and clipped up, brought that back, and it I just thought, you know what, I can't even be bothered to put a PVA bag on it. I'll just put a single little pink pop-up out there, cast to the clip, put it out on that spot. On the buzzer, carried on float fishing. I hadn't had a sniff on maggots or anything. Could not even catch any little roach. An old boy walks up into the swim and asked me how I'm doing. I said I didn't have anything yet, not even roach. And he said, oh yeah, I was sat here for 7 hours yesterday, couldn't even get the roach going. And then spent the next 10 minutes telling me how he's walked around the lake, and most of the people on there are fishing for silvers and nobody can catch any fish. So at that point I thought, do you know what, this is pointless. I'll have a cup of coffee, have a sandwich, pack up, and on my way home I'll just stop on the river, have a little go at jigging, and even though the rivers are flooded, just because I've got to pass it on the way home anyway. And with that, I'd ate my sandwich, I'm taking my last mouthful of coffee, 3 little bleeps, and brought it in. Only a little common. It's, you know, but when everyone else is blanking, again, I feel like I did something different. I looked, figured it's shallow there, the sun's on there. If I was a fish, I'd move into that area. So produced a small fish. Yeah, it's, to me, it's just a small fish. It is weird. I mean, on Twitter you get quite a lot of people. Well, you do. There's a good fishing community on there. There's certainly Dan and Tammy. They post all the time, and they have a good following. I've never looked to see how many followers they have. I mean, I think I have about 500 followers on Twitter, but again, I don't really understand Twitter. If I post randomly, you very rarely get any comments, so either my followers they've actually silenced me, or they don't log on, or whatever. Although if you comment on something that's already been commented on, then you generally get some banter going and everything. But yeah, as I say, there is a good fishing community on Twitter. So along with Dan, actually this I don't know if you can see it on the camera, Mary Fishmas top. This I bought via Twitter, a lady, Mary Costello, I think her name is, and yeah, it's based in, I think it's Alabama if I remember correctly, in America. And she's just posted these. It's her website, and it's I took a chance, ordered it. I didn't order it till the 5th of December, and yeah, as you can see, it arrived on Monday. No, it arrived last Friday, I think. So yeah, anyway, this has got to me quicker than some things that I've ordered online, albeit, you know, 4 things Hermes in their wisdom have chosen to lose. I use that term loosely, lose. They're all high value items, but you know, I mean, I'm digressing, but yeah. Yeah, Twitter's somewhere good for, if you're a fisherman, there's certainly a good community on there to go on Twitter. I've totally lost my chain of thought now. Yeah, so back to Blunt. So I had that little, had the little carp, put him back, and yeah, packed up. On the way back, I stopped off at the river, went to a swim that I know, and had a few casts with the jig rig. Yeah, I did with the jig. Had one take, but didn't manage to hook it. And then walked up the river, changed from, as you walk up, I've learnt to my cost, it's really snaggy further you go up that river. And although that should be great for perch and any fish really, they've got plenty of hiding place, you just end up losing so much gear. And so when I walked up there, I changed to drop shotting, the theory being if you get snagged, the lead should just pull off the bottom. But yeah, I lost 3 rigs, 3 rubber baits, hooks, the shebang, in probably 14 casts. So yeah, wasn't best pleased with that. So really that was a waste of another hour. You know, I went there, and yeah, as I knew, the rivers, they're chocolate coloured because they've been running way too high for a good 3 weeks now, and if the fish are there, they're not finding your bait, or they're not feeding. So moved on from there, came home, updated that spreadsheet. I've said about the spreadsheet before, probably a little bit anal, but you know, I do like to log things, and it does help. you can look back on where you've been and see where you caught fish from at what time of year, which definitely some lakes do. Just certain areas produce fish at certain times of year. How the spreadsheet works, it's only two pages. I have complete information on one sheet, and because there's formulas going back to the first sheet, that calculates certain things like baits, rigs, etc., lakes onto the first sheet. What that has shown this year is most of my fish have been on the krill, and that's not because I haven't used other baits, but certainly the majority of my fishing has been at Braxted Reservoir. And when I try Manila, which is a bait again that I really like, when you try Manila on Braxted, you catch tench and rudd, and when you put krill out, you catch carp. So I just gave up using Manila. So again with the pellet, you put sweet pellet out, you get bothered with small fish, put the fish meal pellets out, the carp come in. I mean, that's not always the way. Certainly a lake that we normally fish in France that was cancelled this year, and I'm booked again to go on April. It's quite an easy lake, and so it's normally my first French trip of the year, and it's an early trip just to get some fish under your belt. And that's the dead opposite. You cannot get a take. We've been there 5 years running. You cannot get a take on a fish meal. But you put Manila out, it's really good. Tiger nut's really good, and if you glug a tiger nut in a fruity flavoured glug, well, the year we did that, we had more on tiger nuts than anything else. But then the next year, it was all on Manila with the odd fish on tiger nut. So yeah, I'm just sort of saying really the importance, I think, of making a note of where you go, what you catch and what you did that day. Again, as I've said before, I go to lakes and I turn up certain swims, I don't even have to look back. I remember, oh yeah, that was 8 wraps out, that's 12 wraps out aiming. It just helps you put fish on the bank, I think. The only other thing I've sort of done for December is I've paid now my money for my syndicate next year, which starts 1st of January. It's I've touched on it before, and I will cover it more in more vlogs, and I may do a year on the syndicate, one vlog sort of 45 minutes, an hour long, which would be this time next year, probably go live, because ticket starts 1st of January and obviously ends 31st of December. Well, I've said before, I fished the lake for, well, the first time I fished it, I'd paid on an auction to fish it with the owner, and then I did 2 years on it as a member, but didn't really put much time in. One of the reasons being it's 100 miles each way, and I just didn't have the time to put in on there. So certainly next year I've got a lot more time on my hands, well, definitely up until the end of April, because as I've said, I'm furloughed 3 days a week, so certainly a lot more time. That said, the lake is a very deep lake and tends not to switch on. I mean, definitely the most productive months on there are June till the end of September. My second year on there, I had the first fish of the year out of there was the last weekend in March. It was 17 pounder, and I had the last fish to be caught out of there that year, which was it was either the last week of October or first week of November, and then a fish wasn't caught until the following April. So that's where most of my fishing will be next year. But like I say, I've paid my money, I'm on there, so I'll still keep my little club that's local to me, because I can pop down there and do evenings, and I'll probably only do every other weekend up in Reading. I mean, I can do 3 nights is the maximum, so I'll try and do 3 nights, and that's what I'll do next year. Yeah, sorry there's not been more fish in my December vlog, and hopefully it's still been worth watching. I'd like to think December there's not a lot of people going fishing because the weather's so poor, and obviously a lot of us in tier 4 lockdowns, and it's meant to be essential journeys only and whatnot. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully more people watch this than watched last month, which ironically I thought last month was quite a good vlog, but as I say, at the moment only 32 people have watched it. Yeah, what can I say? It's, if you're watching this before Christmas, Merry Christmas, or as per my top, Merry Fishmas. And yeah, I'm not, as I say, I'm not going to go out again in December. I will start, I may not even fish January. If I do it, it will just be piking, but I may not do a vlog till February now. Yeah, January, I don't think it's a good month to go fishing personally. Some people will still go out, the odd person will catch fish, and good luck to them. So yeah, Merry Christmas for anyone who's watching it before Christmas, and certainly anyone who's watching it before January. Let's hope you have a happy new year, and let's hope 2021 brings lots of fish to all my fishing buddies, and generally to everyone, the whole world, a lot better 2021. So yeah, so for the last time, I'm not going to say it after this because people are getting fed up with stay safe, but yeah, for the last time, stay safe. Hopefully see you in 2021 on the bank and not in my shed. And that's me done.